Hi, second graders. Today we're going on a virtual field trip, and guess what? We're heading to a very special place called the Imperial Sand Dunes. Have you ever been out to the dunes? Here in Yuma, we have a unique opportunity to visit the dunes. Did you know the big rolling hills are made of sand? Those are called sand dunes, and they're always changing. Do you know what helps shape and move them? That's right, the wind. I'm actually out here at the sand dunes myself. I took my UTV out here to take some videos so you can see what it's really like. You'll get to see the sand blowing, moving, and forming different shapes, all because of the wind. As you go on this virtual field trip, I want you to be a scientist. Watch carefully and think about these questions. What do you notice the wind doing to the sand? How does the land look different when the wind blows? What might happen if the wind keeps blowing for a long time? By the end of our trip, you'll understand how wind can change the land, just like water and ice can. Are you ready to explore the dunes and see the power of the wind in action? Let's go. Wow, look at this. Here I'm riding up and down the dunes in my UTV. Can you see all the big hills and ridges in the sand? Those shapes weren't always there. They were made by the wind. When the wind blows, it picks up tiny grains of sand and moves them from one place to another. Over time, the wind piles up the sand to make these tall dunes. Sometimes the dunes even move and change shape as the wind keeps blowing. What do you notice about the shapes of the dunes? Are they smooth, bumpy, tall, or flat? Do you see the lines and curves in the sand? Those are called ridges. The wind makes those patterns as it pushes the sand around. It's almost like the wind is an invisible artist shaping the land. Why do you think the wind can move the sand so easily? What helps it travel? If the wind can move sand here in the desert, why do you think it might do in other places, like at the beach or near your home? Where else have you seen the wind change or move something outside? Now look closely. I got down low to the ground so you can really see what's happening. Can you see the sand moving? It's like tiny rivers of sand sliding and bouncing across the surface. That's the wind at work. It's pushing and rolling the sand along the ground. This is called erosion, when the wind moves tiny bits of the land from one place to another. What do you notice about how the sand moves? Is it moving fast or slow, a lot or a little? Each little grain of sand might not seem like much, but when the wind blows all day, and for many days, it can change the shape of the land. The wind can wear down tall dunes or build up new ones in different places. If the wind kept blowing like this for a long time, what do you think might happen to the dunes? The wind is always shaping the land, even when we can't see it. We're riding on the big sand dunes. Can you see how tall and wide they are? Some look like mountains of sand, and others have long, curvy ridges or small valleys between them. All these shapes were made by the wind. Over time, the wind has blown sand into hills, scooped out low spots, and carved new patterns across the desert. What kind of landforms can you spot? Do you see hills, ridges, or flat spots? As we drive, notice how no dunes look exactly the same. The wind is always changing them, pushing sand up one side and blowing it down the other. That's why the dunes look so different every time you visit. I'm holding some sand in my hand. Can you see all those tiny grains? They feel so small and light. Now look at what happens when the wind starts to blow. Whoosh, the sand blows right out of my hand. The wind is so strong enough to lift those tiny grains and carry them away. Where do you think the wind is taking the sand? When all those little pieces of sand get carried away, we call that erosion. That means the land is being worn down or moved by the wind. Now look as the camera pans across the dunes. See those tall, curvy shapes? That's where the sand has landed after being blown down. The wind doesn't just take the sand away, it also drops it somewhere else, building new shapes and hills. The wind might seem invisible, but it's always working, picking up sand in one place and dropping it in another. That's how the dunes are always changing. Take Take a look at these pictures. Do you see the wooden boards on the ground? It's called the Old Plank Road. It was built a long time ago from Yuma to San Diego. People used it from 1916 to 1926 to travel the big sand dunes when there was no paved highways. The road was made of wooden planks laid across the sand so cars and wagons wouldn't get stuck. But over time, the wind blew sand over it. Now most of the road is buried beneath the dunes. Now, this road is special to me because my grandmother actually traveled on it when she was a little girl. She was very sick and needed surgery to remove her kidney. My great-grandfather used all their savings and took a horse and a wagon, not even a car, all the way across the plank road to get her to the hospital in El Centro. The plank road is an amazing example of how wind and time can change the land. You can't even see it anymore. Wow, what an amazing adventure we've had today. We explored the Imperial sand dunes and saw how powerful the wind can be. We watched the sand blowing across the ground, so the wind moved sand out of my hand and even rode over the big dunes and ridges that the wind helped create. We even learned about the Old Plank Road, a piece of history that now is mostly covered by sand. Another way the wind has changed the land. What was something different you noticed the wind doing to the sand today?